it should give you more control over your music when you're promoting your own self. That's why it be so many rappers that be like, man, I'm not fucking with them labels. Put my shits on YouTube.
Hello, black hole. See this brother winning, man. A-R-E. Hey, look, what is your win, big? What is your win, big? What is your win, big?
If you have not already done so, please remember to like, share to Facebook, subscribe, and visit uptopbeauty.com. And if you are not already a part of our book club, please hit the Patreon link below and or the join button here on the YouTube. And for a small monthly fee of $5, you babies, yes you, can be privy to all the shenanigans before the YouTube gets it, if the YouTube gets it. Now, let's continue talking about Mariah. For one, there's a great gulf between athletes and artists. And honestly, it's hard for two stars from any industry to make it work. My time with Derek was a sweet and short dream, yet its impact lingered. I thought about it from time to time, years after. Once I was feeling intensely melancholy while recalling our short love affair to a friend. In my best Joan Crawford voice, I lamented, the mother loved me, the sister loved me, the father loved me. It could have been perfect. There was so much energy surging through my body that the champagne glass I was holding completely shattered. I took that intensely and put it in Crybaby. Though our relationship was just a moment in my timeline, Dirk served a very high purpose in my life. He was the catalyst I needed to get from under Tommy's crippling control and get in touch with my sensuality. Okay. I'll take that. Because I think after she left him, then she started wearing all them damn sheer hose, pantyhose, you know, the sheer pantyhose that women gotta wear to keep their legs looking good. And what them girls be wearing? Leotards. Though our relationship was just a moment in my timeline, Dirk served a very high purpose in my life. He was the catalyst I needed to get out from under Tommy's crippling control and get in touch with my sensuality. And the intimacy of our shared racial experience was major. To connect with a healthy family who looked like mine was very inspiring. He was in the right place at the right time, and he was there for the right purpose. DJ was a love in my life, not of my life. That is good. I'm gonna have to use that line because I'm gonna have to use that. That's a good one. A love in my life, not of my life. Okay, yeah, that's what I'm gonna say. I had to go get what I wanted, and I wanted freedom. I needed not just freedom from my marriage to Tommy, but freedom from Sony, as they were inextricably linked. The executives at Sony used to call me the franchise. Crazy, right? So when I was ready to get off the label, they made it difficult for me. We went back and forth with the lawyers about what obligations I would be expected to fulfill. We agreed to an unnamed studio album, which would eventually become Rainbow. They wanted a greatest hits album too. I was resistant to do this because it felt so premature, as if they were trying to sew me up with the 90s. How in the hell? I mean, I guess you could do it, Mariah Carey's 90s greatest hits, because you can't be like the greatest hits for her and she's still at her, epitome in her career. You can't do that. I mean, but they did. They wanted a greatest hits album too. I was resistant to do this because it felt so premature, as if they were trying to sew me up with the 90s. No matter who I was talking to at the label, Tommy was still in control. There was no one above him at Sony. Everything had to go through him. When I began to have conversations about getting off the label, I was blocked at every turn. Tommy had a vendetta against me, and he used his power to hold me hostage. Oh, yeah. Them cancers, y'all. Ooh, them cancers can be vindictive, y'all. Ooh, vindictive. When things still weren't moving along, I felt I had no more options. So I decided it was time to pay a visit to Norio Agma, the president and chairman of Sony Corporation. Ooh, that's a lot of money. Ooh, that's a lot of money, baby. Tommy was the biggest boss I'd ever faced until then. Going above his head seemed like a wild and dangerous idea. But I had no choice. This was my freedom, my career, my life. I had to be sure that if I fulfilled my end of the bargain with these new albums, they wouldn't cheat me by failing to support them. If I was going to put my heart and soul into this work, I needed to have their word that they would throw everything they had behind it, as they used to do. It was a brief meeting that would have long-lasting impact. Okay, so let me comment on this. So I can see why some albums failed, especially at Motown, because you know, if Bird the Gordy is mad at you, then ain't nothing getting done for you. Yeah, get your ass in the studio, but I ain't gonna promote this album. So I can see how albums fail, especially when people are dropped from the label. And I hate the fact that people do not keep business. You know what I'm saying? You let your personal issues with an artist get in between the money. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, Mariah, you want to leave, but we're going to put 100% behind you because we need these last couple of albums that you do for me to be bangers so we can get our money. But then you got Barry Badbug bikes over here that be like, fuck them. If it don't work, it don't work. How many artists said that the label did not back them properly? That's back then. But now, in 2022, there should be no artists saying that the label did not promote them when you have things like social media in place. You know, it's Instagram, it's TikTok, it's Facebook, it's YouTube. It's so many different channels where you can promote yourself. And at the same time, it should give you more control over your music when you're promoting your own self. That's why it be so many rappers that be like, man, I'm not fucking with them labels. Put my shits on YouTube. It was a brief meeting that would have long-lasting impact. I may have had big boss energy, but I was also deeply saddened by the whole process. I wanted to stay on at Sony, but I didn't know how to move forward in the midst of my merge to its CEO coming to an end. Deep down, I was hoping they'd just fire him so I could stay. Damn, Mariah. It wasn't the first time he had caused problems. There was a lawsuit with George Michael, not my George Michael. A careless whisper of a good friend to the heart and mind. Yeah. Oh, wait. And Michael the Jackson? Y'all been putting that in the comments that Michael the Jackson had a problem with his bitch ass too.
Carey. After divorce, Tommy came to me crying. She was crying so badly I had to hold her. And she said to me that this is an evil man. And Michael, this man follows me, she said. He taps her phone and he's very, very evil. She doesn't trust him. And he is a horrible human being. And we have to continue our drive until he's
There
terminated.
was a lawsuit with George Michael and Michael Jackson eventually launched a campaign against exploitation of black artists, explicitly aimed at Tommy Mozzarella Sticks, with Reverend Al Sharpton at the National Action Network's Harlem headquarters. Damn. Mozzarella Sticks was that bad, y'all? Though I expected to have more time and a more in-depth meeting, ultimately, I was grateful. Mr. Ahaga respected me enough to take this meeting and make a deal with me. It's why years later I was able to return to the company with caution, which interestingly enough is my most critically acclaimed album. When I got back home to deal with the powers that be in America, we arrived at a final deal that included 4 albums to be delivered over the next 5 years. Number 1s, Rainbow, Greatest Hits, and the remixes. Number 1s, which I had conceptualized and proposed to Columbia, would be the first to come out in 1998. I was reluctant to release old music, so in addition to the 13 number 1 hits I added 4 brand new tracks to the album. Brian McKnight and I recorded a totally new duet version of Whenever You Called from Butterfly. I did a cover of I Still Believe. Last but certainly not least, number 1s included my duet with Whitney Houston from The Prince of Egypt, When You Believe. It was a major pop culture moment that Whitney and I were collaborating. Not already done so, please remember to like, share the Facebook, subscribe, and visit uptopbeauty.com. Now remember this: the same people that you meet on the way up will always be the same people that you meet on the way down. My naysayers, my patron loves. You babies, have a good one. Peace.